The trouble with the macros that we've created so far is that we've been saving them in the workbook that's currently open. And this might be desirable if you have a macro that's specific to one workbook that you're only going to use within the sheets in that workbook and you want to pass it around. That's fine. If you want a macro that's going to be globally available, you need to save it a little differently. Let's go ahead and recreate our titles macro again. And this time we'll save it in our personal workbook. Let's go up to quarterly sales. This is a title we've already added. Select a range. And this time, when we record our macro, we're going to call this titles 3. Set a global shortcut for T. And again, this is something that was in a previous workbook, so it's no longer a conflict. And we're going to store it this time instead of this workbook in a personal macro workbook. This personal macro workbook exists at a higher level outside of the worksheet that you're currently looking at, so it will be available to all future worksheets. Say OK. Same process. We can go ahead and perform the actions that we want to record. Stop the macro, and it's recorded. Now you can see that if I have a subtitle or another piece of information, let's just create another subtitle right here, and I want to apply the macro that we've previously created, it's going to give us an error saying that that macro doesn't exist where we thought it did. And you'll see that if I right-click to access this item, I can't do anything. Remember, the Customize dialog box must be open in order for you to access and modify these menus. So let's go to Tools, Customize, and now we can right-click and we'll go down to Assign Macro, and this time we'll assign one from our personal titles. Here we go. The Personal XLS Title 3. OK. Say OK, close. And now, if I select a range here, My Macros, Title Format, we've just formatted the subtitle using that new macro that's created at a global level. And to further illustrate that it's at a global level, let's close this worksheet. No, we don't want to save the changes. We'll open up a new worksheet. So that other worksheet is closed and gone, which means if the macro was saved only with it, it would be closed and gone. Let's put in title, highlight a range, go up to My Macro and execute this again. And you'll see that it works just as well in a brand new worksheet as it did in the worksheet we created it in. The only catch is that when you go to exit Microsoft Excel, it's going to ask you, do you want to make changes to the current workbook? No. Do you want to make changes to your personal macro workbook? And if I say yes, then that macro will be available to me next time. And if I say no, it won't. So obviously we want to click yes and save our macro work for the next time we open Microsoft Excel.